Hi guys, this is Vishal here from Trapcode. So in this video we will understand how to integrate Google Maps in a Trapcode project. So we will be basically creating a lot of data. We will create a Google Map, we'll install the plugin, we'll do the configuration, and then we will see how to display dynamic data on Google Maps. Okay, so let's start. So here I have a blank page which is just a navbar and a header which says hotels in London. We have some of the data which we have created, and we'll need to show the data, right? So I'll go to my collections. In the collections we have a list of hotels which are in London. Okay, so all these are hotels. To display data in Google Maps, we need the latitude and longitude of those properties or those locations, right? So we will show you how to get those also. So I have just created some dummy data which is latitude, longitude, some name, address, and a photo. Okay, now let's go and see how we can display it in Google Maps in Trapcode. To do it, first we will need to install the Google Maps plugin. So I'll go to my plugins directly and scroll down to Google Maps. So here's the Google Map plugin. So let's go and install it. To install the plugin, it is asking for API key. So API key is a key provided by Google Cloud or Google Maps account, which we will use to display the data on the map. Okay, so let's go and see how we can get this key. So to get an API key, you need a valid Google Cloud account. So I already have an account, so I'll just use my account for this demo purpose. But if you don't have an account, you need to create an account on Google Cloud. Okay, so this is the URL to start with Google Maps. So it's mapsplatform.google.com. So I already have an account, so I'll quickly go to my account. So this is my account. So here you need to create a project and link it to a billing organization. So if you don't have a billing organization, you will need to create a billing organization. You need to give your credit card. Okay, so I have a project, but I'll start with a fresh organization. So I'll go to the left menu and I'll go to the billing. Okay, why I am covering this step? Because sometimes Google, depending on the country, Google asks you different billing account for fetching data from maps. Okay, so I'll go to my billing accounts. I'll go and create a billing account. Okay, I'll say Gmaps account 2. Okay, country is India. Here you see billing. By default it's Google Cloud, but you need to enable Google Maps. Okay, so that's why I'm creating a separate billing account just for Google Maps. This may vary from country to country, but here you need to enable Google Maps. Okay, so I created an account with the name is Google Maps account 2, and the billing account is Google Maps. Submit and enable billing. So my billing account is created. Now let's go and create a project in this billing account. Okay, so I'll go to the left menu. I'll go to my Google Maps, click overview. Here we need to create a project. Okay, so I'll go and create a project. So it is asking the name of the project and the billing account from where the money will get deducted if we cross the API limit. Right, so I'll say demo 2 billing account. I'll choose Google billing account which I just created. Organization and all I'll leave as default and just create. Okay, so it is basically creating a project for me, and we'll create a key to authorize this project for this billing account. Okay, the project is created. Now we will need to enable the services. So to display data in the Google Map, we need Maps JavaScript API. So I'll click this and I'll say enable. Okay, so basically Maps JavaScript API is enabled, which we will use to fetch and display data on Google Maps. After the API is enabled, go to the credentials and let's create a new credentials. So go to the credentials and click create credentials. And in the credential you need an API key. So I'll choose an API key. So it has generated an API key. So this is the API key which we are going to use in the Trapcode project to display data on the Google Maps. So I'll just copy this and let's go back to the Trapcode. So here Google cloud thing is done. We have created an account, enabled the billing, created a project, and created a credentials for it. Okay, so I'll go to Trapcode and just paste the key here. So this is done. So the plugin got installed. Now we need to display the data. As you know, we have already created the data. So let's go and display it. So I have a page which is just blank page. So let's go and build the layout. I'll go to the components and drop a 2-section layout. Go to the sections and drop a 2-section layout. So let's say 2 column. I'll decrease the width and increase the width of this column. Okay, so it's divided into 9:3. And make the container fluid so that it occupies the whole width. Instead of X, I'll make it fluid. Okay, so I have created a section which has a container row and 2 columns. One is 9/12, other is 3/12. Okay, so let's drop a data group. I want to display the data on the right and map to the left. Okay, so I'll go and drop a data group. It is here. It is asking me to the collection. So I'll just choose from hotel and just display all items. I don't need a search bar. I'll delete it. This is card. This is fine. I don't need pagination. Delete it. And let's display the image. So I'll go to the components and drop an image. This is fine. This is the image of the property. So it will come from hotel collection, hotel image. This, let's say, name of the hotel. So I'll say hotel and name. This is fine. Let's say description, hotel and description. This is fine. For this, let's say address, hotel dot address. Okay, we don't need these cards, so just delete it. So what we have done, we've created a very simple data group. We are displaying the image of the hotel and some details. So let's go and see how this page looks like. So I'll click preview. Okay, so it is basically displaying me the list of hotels which are there in the database, all 6 hotels. Okay, so let's go and display map in this area. I'll do some basic designing. Basically just adding some space on the bottom so that these two cards do not look stick together. Okay, there's some gap between the cards. That's fine. So let's go and display the map. Okay, if you scroll down in the components, you will see a Google Map component. So just drag and drop. Okay, by default it is taking quite less height, so let's go and give height and width of 100%. Let's take 100% width and 100% height of the parent container. Okay, let's do the mapping. So I'll go to the settings of Google Map, and here we'll choose the collection, that from which particular collection the data will come. So I choose hotel, which is fine. Nowadays it has populated several other fields which we need to give. So first of all, it is asking for filter. So filter, let's say I want to display all records, then latitude and longitude. So these are the 2 fields which we need, right? So is to map data. So in my dummy data, I already have all these latitude and longitude fields. So I just choose latitude and longitude. This fields we create. I'll show you how these fields are created and what values are coming. Header is basically what you want to display on the pop-up of the hotel, okay, or the property. So I'll say to display the name of the hotel, and in the description display the address. Okay, and this is zoom, that what zoom level you want to display on the map. So this also I'll show you quickly. Okay, so we have created we have basically configured the fields, that from which collection the data will come, what all results will come, and what all fields to display. So let's go and preview again. I'll just reload this page. I reload the page, and then you can see the map has actually started appearing. this is a map of the London, right? And these hotels, if you see, are actually mapped here. So this is Premier Inn, this is Shangri-La, this one, this is this one. Okay, no. You can also restrict the height and width of the map. Okay, so as of now we have just displayed it 100%. So let's go and add few more data and see how this looks like. Okay, so I'll go to my collection and see we have these data. Like, so you are asking me how we have stored latitude, longitude. So let's go to the collection. So latitude and longitude are very simple, just number fields, latitude and longitude. It's a very simple number fields, that's all, nothing fancy. So let's go to the collection and add some data. Okay, so I already have opened Google Map on my another browser. So let's add something. Let's say this hotel looks good, so let's add this property, ME London. So I'll go to my collection and add a hotel. Name is ME London. Description, let's say this one. Latitude and longitude, this is important. So either you get latitude and longitude from the property or from the data we are getting. If you are going from Google Maps, so you can see the latitude and longitude in the URL. So if you see this thing after @ after the name, it's latitude, and this is longitude separated by comma. So I'll copy latitude and I'll copy longitude. Address, what is, so address of the hotel is this, and an image. So I'll just choose some random image. Okay, so I've created a data for ME London and save it. Now if I load my map, Google Map, it should display this data also. Okay, so let's go and refresh. As of now, if you see, there is no ME London. So I'll just refresh. Now you can see ME London is coming here, and if you go to the map, you can actually see this property, ME London. Right, so we have added the data and now it is getting displayed on the map also. So this way you can actually control what all data get displayed on the map. You can apply various filters, so maybe on the basis of location, link, pin code, any particular category. So you can filter like people do on different sites. The zoom thing which I was showing you. So as of now, if you see, this is a zoom level. If you want to reduce the zoom or increase the zoom, you can do it from the configuration. So go to the settings. Here you just change this zoom level to, let's say, zoom in or zoom out. So let's say I zoom it out. Let's go and see. Since I have zoomed out, you can see actually all the values getting cluttered here, and it is showing me bigger map of London. If I zoom in, it will basically show me a very detailed street view. So like this. I zoom in more, I can actually pass these settings while displaying the default map. So I can control that when the default maps load, what should be the zoom value. So you can add much more data, you can add images, you can actually provide a lot more data on this card, and then you can display dynamic data on Google Map. I hope this is clear now. It's quite easy to display data in Google Maps. Thanks for watching. See you again in the next video. Bye bye.